Before we begin this episode, I acknowledge that this episode is being recorded on the lands of the Piscataway. We also visited Musawamuk territory just earlier, aka Harper's Ferry, and it is a beautiful place. Definitely need to check it out. And thank you for, honoring us guests. And likewise, we honor you today on this episode, as well as my OG homelands, Nanticoke and the Lenape lands. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, hi. You may notice I'm in a different location. That's because I am out of town with my family right now, but I still wanted to stream today. So, here I am. Hello. So, welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore with me and Tobias the Tantalus.
Hello.
So, in the last episode, we managed to finish Rod's route of his best ending. So, this time, we are going to go through Karma's best route. So far, we've gotten halfway correct when it came to Rod. Something tells me I've done worse with Karma, but we'll see. His story is a little bit more dramatic, and I kind of held back from conflict a lot of it, I'm not gonna lie.
A Karma? Dramatic? No.
But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and start up with his route, but oh yeah, I gotta load the guide first, because we need that to complete this thing, don't we?
I mean, it might help.
It might help. Okay. So, basically here's the drill for this. It's not gonna be too long, thankfully. I figured maybe we could probably do maybe one episode per route, maybe. Give it a little bit more time to simmer. So we're gonna basically go through each of the dialogue options. We choose the correct one. We see if we were correct on that front, and if not, well, we just move forward until we see new dialogue we have not experienced before, until we get to the new 6th chapter, which gives us the best ending, which we will read in full. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. So we did Rod's route, like I mentioned earlier, aka the Little Mermaid Curse, and now we're going to be going through Karma's route with, which he recovered from I think his was the Beauty and the Beast curse, yes. Okay, so let's go ahead and get through this. Alright, so we can fast forward through this part, even though I do enjoy it. Because we do need to get to the story. Oh, I did that, okay. So now we got Karma's story. This is the part where it gets really confusing, because the gems don't match up to what you think they would be.
Karma like blue?
I thought red because of his hair, but let's see if that's even correct. Yeah, actually that was correct. So let's go ahead and do this with chapter 1.
It was Rod we thought was blue.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Rod was like purple.
Yeah, it was like purple, which made no sense to me. But this one, actually, we may need to read just a little bit in full, because the first edition appears pretty immediately. I remember this much. Because we chose the wrong technique.
Huh. If I were you, I would give up now, Princess Lucette. You ought to just surrender, darling.
What kind of villain says darling?
Lucette, this is where you play along.
I take a deep breath and force myself to glare at him. I will never succumb to you. I parry Claude's sword moments after he lands a blow on the edge of my blade. His momentary surprise fades into concentration as he rushes me again, sword raised high. This time I'm able to parry, and when our swords connect, it is all I can do to keep my stance. Claude's face is inches from mine. A cocky smile lights his face, but his calm is unwavering.
Use any means necessary to best me. I dare you.
In this proximity, I can see the flicks of color in Claude's eyes, the flicker of the golden light on gentle green. His eyes will always remind me of this forest. I steal my eyes away from him and glimpse the rest of his body to search for an opening. How should I attack him? So this is where I was incorrect. I chose magic when the correct answer was actually using a sword. We may lose either way, but at least we fight him in a medium he knows. So let's give it a shot. This is a sword fight, and I'll win with the sword, not my magic. I do not need to trick Claude to best him. My eyes fall on Claude's arms. His stance is rigid and unwavering. It is a sign that he is trying to keep his whole body steady and his defense solid, but... I slide the edge of my blade against the sword and duck out of the way as he places past my head. Claude's eyes widen as I lower my weapon to elbow him in the gut. Dang, she actually won that. She learned fast. My elbow barely connects before he takes a step back and grabs hold of my arm.
A valiant effort, my love, but I'm afraid you found the wrong opening.
Darn! Just a loss. Worth a try, though. As always, his cockiness is one of his weaknesses. I flip the pommel of the sword grip with my other hand, then aim it at his stomach. Claude releases my wrist and dodges out of the way. We both raise our swords at the same time, and our weapons once again collide. I force myself to step forward even beneath the weight of his sword. Then, arms shaking, I slowly slide my sword away. Oh! Claude's blade stops inches from my shoulder, but my sword is closer. I aim the point at his heart with a smile. Oh, yes! Every time I put myself in a dangerous situation, Claude pauses. That gives me the opening I need. And with that, I seal my victory. Claude sets his sword down and holds up his hands, a sly smile playing on his lips.
Fair enough. It seems you have bested me today. But only because you cheated.
Oh, come on! You're so a loser. I did not cheat. You told me to best you in whatever way I could, so I... Claude lowers the sword I have pointed at his heart with a carefree laugh. He takes a step forward, suddenly close enough that we could touch noses. You... The rest of my words fall apart when Claude presses his lips to mine, silencing me. For a few moments, I stand frozen. Didn't know the Ice Queen could get frozen, or Ice Princess, but it's neither here nor there. The only sounds I can hear in the stillness of the forest are my own erratic heartbeat and the gentle flutter of leaves. Slowly begin to kiss him back with my free hand to his back. When he pulls away, he is still somehow smiling at me mischievously.
You said seal your victory, but you know that a victory isn't sealed without a kiss.
Jeez. Claude, ever the drama queen?
It's worth seeing you cheat, so yeah. Just to see you turn that adorable tomato red.
Gosh. I didn't cheat. I watch as Claude leans down to pick up his sword. He winks at me.
Yes, I know. All's fair in love and war, as they say.
Again with your shiny face. I groan at Claude's response. He always manages to say such things nonchalantly, without even batting an eyelash. I've just readied my retort when something breaks the silence of the forest around us. And that is the next decision. Oh, or just new dialogue. I could have just simply just went forward as normal, actually. But apparently Jurian saw the whole thing. Also, I didn't realize that sealing a victory meant ending the battle with a kiss. I stare at her in horror. That was... I'm just teasing. Garland smiles as he runs a hand through his hair.
That was a victory, though. One could... Dang it. Stupid cat. Sorry.
It happens. I have my days.
One could say it was almost a birthday gift.
Oh yeah! Lucetta's birthday is coming up here.
It's not a gift at all. Lucetta earned this victory herself.
Oh? You say that now? The only victories I accept are ones I earn myself.
You see? I know Lucette likes the back of my hand.
Right.
I like the back of my hand.
I hope you know your fiance like the back of your hand. And with that, we fast forward to the next decision, or new dialogue. Let's see how it's gonna go. Aha! Name for the new drink. It's supposed to be the chameleon. Because we got chameleon toppings, even though we have Lily's stuff on there, but that's what it's supposed to be. Did we get it right? Let's see. We did not! We are got a bad start, my friends. Even if it is very dramatic, this was still thoughtful of Claude. Since he's been working so hard for the celebration, he ought to be celebrated a little too. Lucette, how generous. Really. And since it's no secret that he adores chameleons... The chameleon? Emmeline looks skeptically at the drink, then bursts out laughing. I guess that makes sense with the little chameleon on the glass, but wouldn't it make that drink more Claude's special cocktail? I see no problem with celebrating him. We could play a little trick on him during the unveiling. He'll never see it coming. Emily puts a hand to her cheek and grins. I'm sure he'll love it, Lucette.
He'll never see the chameleon coming.
Nope. Let's see. New dialogue or new decision? Let's find out. Oh! Yep. Lance! Oh, okay. Yeah, so far we've got a bad start. Like, I know most of these decisions we were wrong on. So far we've not gotten any of Chapter 1 correct. And this third chapter, we were actually supposed to refuse his help. Because take sides with Claude, apparently. Which is a shame, too, because Lance is actually really nice. But on the other hand, he is Emmeline's significant other, so there's that. I gently push his hand away and move to stand on my own. I'm fine, thank you. I had better not give him more reason necessary to shower me with attention. Then again, he's not the average prince, he's the Prince of Bucantia. So, it's gonna be extra. I stand and brush my eyes off briskly. I notice him motion out of the corner of my eyes and look up to see Claude striding toward us. He moves to stand beside me, a tight smile on his face.
How rude it is of my brother to knock a beautiful lady over.
Well, who happens to be your fiancé, but go off.
I'm afraid all I can do in this situation is offer a heartfelt apology.
I also apologize, there might be a lot of dialogue on your end. Lance smiles a little sheepishly before he turns his full attention on Claude. Let the awkward exchange begin. And a few more decisions, so with that, Chapter 2. Okay, so let's see. For context... Apparently... Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember now. Magical demonstration. So, this time we were supposed to do... attempt to create a rose. I think I did pick this one, and she wasn't successful
We got
at it.
one of them right.
We got one of them right. Yep. That's just one! One! Oh my gosh. Okay, so... fast forward. So, this one we did get wrong, which apparently we were supposed to join him at the piano. Apparently Lucette knows this song. It'll be fine. Claude knows how to focus. I make my way over to where he is sitting at the piano and quietly slide onto the bench beside him. I did not trust myself enough, clearly. Anyway. The song does not stop, even when Claude inclines his head toward me slightly. The gentle smile never falters. In fact, his eyes seem to gleam even more when he knows as I sit beside him. Behind him. Well, wouldn't it be beside him, though? Because it's a bench. Typo!
He's taking up the whole bench. Oh, well. This is a pleasant surprise. I was wondering when you'd be back.
I set one of my hands down on his knee and leaned my head onto his shoulder. It has been a long day.
I'm sorry I couldn't lighten your workload, darling. You've deserved a more lax day today. You deserve to be spoiled.
Oh, Claude. His playing at the piano ceases as he puts his hand on top of mine. Claude, you spoil me every day. Sometimes too much. It's fine. I furrow my eyebrows slightly, realizing that my presence has probably put a damper on his playing. I interrupted your playing, didn't I? I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing, darling? You know what I always say.
Claude smiles at me mischievously.
I always notice the most pertinent things, and you are far more important than any piano piece.
At least he knows what he has to say. He waves his fingers through mine before leaning forward to press a gentle kiss to my lips. The feeling of his lips on mine causes my earlier stress to melt away completely. Everything around just fades to a gentle blur when I kiss him back. For some time, it feels like the world has stopped around us, and then there is just the two of us. At times like this, it feels like we have all the time in the world for each other. I'm the first to pull away. I poke Claude in the chest and smile as I slide off the bench. What song were we playing? It was the theme from the first game. I forgot the precise name, but it's a good song. Might need a re-recording at some point if they decide to do an anniversary edition of this game, but it's a good one. So with that, next decision, a new dialogue. I wonder, are we going to get this next one right? Because so far we've got one. We're not on a good track record right now. Okay. Oh yeah, the speech. So this time for best ending, suggest Chico to Claude for help. I think I picked this one? Let's see.
I think we did that.
I think we did? We did! Number 2! Yay! Lance is bad. Let's go next. Okay, let's see. What was this one? What was happening? It was birthday stuff. What was happening? Oh, Parfait. Parfait. The meeting with Parfait.
Right.
I think I allowed him to tag along, didn't I? Yes, I did. Yep, number 3. We are doing way better with chapter 3. We did go.
Yeah, what are we, like 3 for 6 at this point.
3 for 6. So we're still on the halfway mark. Wow. I think we might have done best with, like, Fritz and Waltz, maybe? So far, it's
maybe. We'll see.
We'll see. Next? Oh, new dialogue. Right, because we chose a different name for the drink. I present to you Lucettes' special drink, the Chameleon. There's a round of applause followed by very confused muttering. Dolores snorts. And here I thought was a celebration for the princess.
Emmeline.
Lucette insisted we call it that. Claude looks at me mournfully. Did you really expect me to call it anything else with such a topper on it?
Lucette.
I have no problems with this name. It was your idea, after all. Claude embarrassed? That's new.
I'm amazed. I didn't even know you could blush, Karma.
Me neither.
I would say I've never seen him so red before, except he's normally very red. So.
Well, I mean, with the exception of, like, the first game, maybe, then he was, like, more golden than red. Besides, when are we gonna see Miss Karma again? She's cool.
It's a trick of the lighting, nothing more.
Right. Because all the world's your stage. Everyone scatters in different directions at that point. Some make their way immediately to the food tables, while others begin to engage in conversation. And I fast forward to the next decision. Maybe new dialogue. Oh. The argument between Chevalier, Lance, and Karma. Apparently I'm supposed to remain silent, just let them bicker it out, so let's see what happens. I cannot help but recall my previous conversation with Lance. He told me that he's more comfortable speaking with people one-on-one, and yet he seems at a loss for words here. He needs to learn how to get out of these situations on his own. This will be good practice for him. Oh boy. Here we go. Chevalier is still squinting at Lance suspiciously. The silence persists for a few more moments before Claude breaks it. He lets out a deep sigh and steps between the two of them.
Calm judgmental, and yet you're already assuming things about my brother. I'm very hypocritical of you.
Ooh! Snap! Dang! Wow, Claude. Where, Claude? I didn't know.
I'm sure we thought you were at a loss for words.
Yeah, but no. Good. Well, then again, this is Lance that we're talking about here. I think it was not Claude, but still, though. Wow. Just wow. Also, one sec. I need to get my battery plugged in. I forgot that. I lost a good bit of power. When I was going hiking today. A less smart part of me thought, let me carry my laptop with me into the mountains in case I feel inspired to write. But I didn't, because it was so intense. Because where I come from, it's pretty flat. Even like the trails are pretty flat, and like West Virginia is pretty hilly, like almost mountainous even. Then again, considering it's a part of the Appalachian Trail, it should have been expected, but no, I was not prepared. But it was a good thing I brought it with me, because it turned out my phone was at 1% by the time I got to the cliff. So I basically plugged in my phone to my computer, opened as if I was going to log into it, and then shut the computer to get the power going. So it basically made a very jank, very efficient portable battery.
Less portable than most, but
yeah, but
it works.
It got the job done, so.
That's wilderness survival, right?
Yep.
Making the most out of what you've got.
Exactly. And I've been in the Girl Scouts. Anyway.
I was never good at scouts. Lance is...
Quad shrugs.
Lance is not me.
He is right about that. But in terms of what way? What are you gonna say next, Claude? Please choose your words carefully. No, Lance is definitely easier to get along with than Claude. Throwing shade at your own fiance. Wow!
Darling, you wound me.
Both Lance and Chevalier laugh at that. Claude scowls a little as he turns away and takes my hand. In the moment that Claude looks away, I notice Lance flash a grateful smile at him. Oh. So, Claude can actually be brotherly when he tries. I think it's there, it's just not very earnest about showing it just yet. Chevalier and Lance seem to become more comfortable with each other after the interruption. Claude pulls me away while they continue conversing. I have a feeling there's new dialogue coming up, so let's see what happens.
Well, at least someone gets along with that man.
I stand corrected. Moving forward, Claude. Is this a chess match thing? I think it's a chess match thing. Let me see. Yeah, it's a chess match thing, actually. So this one... Wait. So... I lost track of chapters already. Let's see. So there was... Your sword, the chameleon, refuses help, attempt to create a rose, trying with the piano, to see your Claude to help. Mama tag along, remain silent. It was interject. There we go. Okay, so we're on chapter 3 still. Did I interject earlier? I don't remember.
Cannot remember.
We did not. I thought this was meant to be a practice session, not a lecture. Chastising someone is not assisting them, Claude. It's maybe their lesson, but Claude is being unnecessarily harsh.
Who said?
We frown at each other for a few moments, our gazes locked. In the end, it is Claude that deflates and looks away first. I mean, bro. This is the Ice Princess talking to. You're not gonna win this one. The vulnerable expression on his face is both heartbreaking and confusing. He looks guilty, which means that he knows he's in the wrong, so why is he acting like this?
Karma, is something wrong?
And I think I now understand why he got cursed with the Beauty and the Beast curse. Claude scowls. I am unable to withhold my opinion. Is there new dialogue? Let me see. I step forward, eyebrows furrowed. Lance is simply asking for help and now you're angry at him for some reason. This is not about him. This is about you, isn't it? But, yeah, I think this is old dialogue, so we can move forward to the next decision. Next! Okay.
Is this just gonna be all the decisions? It's like, Keep quiet, or say something.
Yeah, it's basically keep quiet or say something. Keep quiet or say something. Do I intervene or do I not intervene? This one's remaining silent. That one I already knew for sure. So, got that one right. That was pretty obvious. I was supposed to remain silent. Next! And so the conflict here is between Lance and Claude, but apparently the conflict was supposed to be sword fighting, not chess. So let's see how they duke it out. So it basically gave Karma a field advantage. An uncharacteristically intense light comes from Claude's eyes as he stares at his brother. Uh-oh.
Good suggestion, said.
Let's hope they do not kill each other. He glares at Lance.
Fight me.
Then again, I kind of can see where he's going with this. Like, he wants to make the fight more literal instead of, like, all in his head. On the other hand, though... Oh... Now I see what it is. Because in the beginning, we saw Lucette win through her own creativity and effort, so now he's trying to find some way for Lance to win, even when the odds are stacked against him.
Right.
Now I see the theme here. It's a little more straightforward now that I'm actually seeing the pieces fit into place, and why my initial decisions may be pretty incorrect. Because in this case, it's Quad's home turf now. Well, on GL's is his new home turf. He doesn't have to prove himself anymore, whereas Lance now does. This is not a challenge for Claude. It is a challenge for Claude empathetically and mentally. But Lance is now more literal in terms of rank, and now he's, in this case, asserting himself. Because he's a new crown prince of Brigantia.
If Lance can beat him, like, at his own game, then there's, like, no room for doubt.
Yeah, like he's the perfect replacement. I get it.
What?
Lance looks obviously disheartened. He looks at me, and for a few moments, his eyes are so pleading that I almost feel the need to reconsider.
We'll settle this with a duel. It'll be a very traditional and straightforward. No cheating. We'll only use practice swords.
At least he's got safety first on his mind. I am giving Claude the advantage here, but regardless of what happens, I do believe this will help the two of them see eye to eye. We can have either Jurian or Garland oversee the match, as long as they're not busy.
What is this? Is my little brother a coward?
Those are fighting words, Claude, but I know it's close to what you're trying to do.
No, I accept your challenge.
A competitive glint sparkles in Lance's eyes as he holds Claude's gaze. Good. Now that you two have decided on a challenge, you're done. And I am done with this conversation. Moving on. Okay, let's see. Okay, it was about Lance's insecurities, but also partially about his own. Okay, so here it's, I think I sympathized with him last time, so this time we actually have to tease him out of it. Let's see what happens.
You're...
This is weird. Maybe tease is not the thing I would have said, but on the other hand, though, considering, well, they gotta get him out of his funk somehow. Perhaps a change of atmosphere is for the better. I'm disappointed, Chameleon Prince. Claude looks up at me startled. Then again, he responds better to drama, so... maybe this is the way to pull him out.
That's fair. What?
Claude sometimes refers to himself by that nickname here when he's being dramatic. Like, during our sword practices, It's just an extension of his nickname from home, but it seems to do wonders to his self-confidence. He is literally the personification of all the world's a stage. How did I not figure this out? I stand up and cross my arms. The chameleon prince I know is always overfilled with confidence. He faces his problems head on and does not let his emotions get the better of him. I would go so far as to say that he even shares his problems with confidence, without thinking them a weakness. The man sitting here before me is indeed a petty man, but only because he lowers himself to such. This is so weird. Let's keep going. I'm afraid you've been demoted to just chameleon now.
Oh no, stripped of rank and title.
Wow. Lucette can be cold, but that's why it's just called the Ice Princess. Dethroned! Claude rises from the bench and takes a step toward me.
Did you just say demoted?
Well, more accurately it would be dethroned, but yes.
Your heart is as cold as ice, love.
They don't call her the Ice Princess for nothing. Perhaps, but at least I wear my ice-cold heart on my sleeve. Claude puts a hand to his chest and sighs out dramatically. Much to my relief, he is now wearing a smile on his face. He is such a drama queen! I know he's going to be king, but like... he's such a drama queen! I kind of enjoy it, though. It's a little strange at the same time. I don't know.
And yet, that wasn't always the case, was it? Somehow, you always manage to upstage me, darling.
Well, she learned from the best.
You know how hard I've been working to be a perfect prince?
Bit too hard, in my opinion. Of course I do. And that is exactly why I think that you hiding things from me is so foolish. It may be wise to hide things in front of other people, but I'm not just some other person, am I?
Of course not.
You see, you might think keeping your emotions tucked away makes you appear more confident, but I know better than anyone else when you were hiding something. Whew, that was the one line that I needed to hear. Anyway, next! I think we did the cupcake. Of course we had to do the cupcake. It's food we're talking about here. We're getting that cupcake.
We're getting a cupcake.
We're getting a cupcake. Regardless of what decision you have to make, we are getting that cupcake. And it was the right decision regardless. You did not skip cupcakes.
You better believe it was the right decision. Mm-hmm. It's never the wrong.
It's never the wrong one.
Yeah, it is never not the right decision. Yeah. Words.
Enjoy that cupcake. Next! Oh, yes. The sword. The sword duel. Anyway. Eventually, the two of us reach our destination. Garland stands in the usual forest clearing where we all have our practices. Seated beside him on a tree stump is Lance. The two of them are engaged in conversation when we arrive.
Why don't you just ask her now, Sir Garland?
Is he trying to withdraw or what? Garland sighs, looking downtrodden.
Because Jury and I are both preoccupied with the security plans for Princess Lucette and Prince Claude's wedding. But asking her a simple question wouldn't interfere with your plans any, would it?
What simple question is this, I wonder?
Or a not so simple question? I want my proposal to be special. That's what I was thinking. It's like, why don't you just ask her? I'm like, yeah, I think that's what.
That should have been obvious, because, like, I mean...
Oh, are we discussing the marriage proposal that has yet to happen?
Wow, Claude. Lance and Garland both look up when we enter the forest. Claude passes them to set whatever things we had been carrying down by the forest trees.
You're late.
As always. Fashionably.
My apologies. Lizette and I were at the march discussing an important proposal with two witches.
And enjoying cupcakes in the process.
Now.
He turns to regard Lance somberly.
Are you prepared, Lance? Of course.
Here we go. Garland takes his place between both men, handing them their practice swords as he relays the rules of the match. I settle myself on a nearby tree stump and absolutely move to pick up the remaining practice sword. It has been a long time since I used a practice sword. Almost a whole year. I cannot help but recall my first practice sessions with Claude when I hold the sword in my hand. I'm jolted from a reverie by the sound of clashing blades. I glance up just in time to see Claude effortlessly slide his sword past Lance's. He then dodges gracefully as Lance takes a quick stab at his side. It is not difficult for me to see the gap in skill. It becomes more and more apparent that Claude is not even trying, while Lance seems to be exerting too much effort with every motion. The longer the match goes on without a single hit, the more certain I become that Claude is just toying with his brother. He has many chances to land a hit on Lance, but he never does. Much to my surprise, even Lance seems to realize this.
I hope you're not holding back because you feel pity for me.
Meanwhile, the chess match, he was obliterated. Well, Claude was obliterated. His words are filled with contempt. Claude's only response is a smug smile. Lance rushes Claude again, but the attempt is clumsy. He nearly stumbles past him and right into a tree. Claude takes a few steps back, still smiling. Is he basically saying he's not worth the effort? What in the world is happening here?
I don't know. Why is that idiot smile plastered all over your face?
Oh boy.
Oh my, you seem out of sorts, Llama. Says the man who instigated this mess in the first place.
Well, you do realize he's getting married. It's not really a mess, is it? Well, then again, he also did have to run away from his country after he got cursed. There's that. Anyway, Lance rushes at him again. This time, Claude holds out his sword to block him. The blades collide and both men grunt. Claude moves his sword first, feinting it in a circle and then backstepping until he's behind his brother. He lands a hit on Lance's shoulder.
One.
That still only counts as one. Lance turns on him so suddenly even Claude cannot step back in time. He hits Claude square in the chest, causing him to stumble back. The anger on Lance's face is palpable enough that it makes his cheeks flush. Much to my surprise, Claude just laughs.
Typical Llama.
I don't get these two. The fight continues after that. This time Claude does not falter when he gets an opening. He's able to tap Lance 2 more times in the shoulder without suffering any more hits from him. Garland calls out the end of the match once Claude lands his last hit, but much to everyone's surprise, Lance does not relent. We got a comeback, ladies, gents, and non-binary friends. He comes at his brother again, and Claude is only able to hold his sword up in time because of his distance between them.
What's this? The match is over, Lance. Or... would you like to do 3 more points? I assure you that I will win in the end, regardless. This time, I'll do it without even trying.
He's just trying to get a rise out of him to show that he can... I never understood this tactic.
Oh, don't ask me. It'll be less painful for you that way.
You sure it's not gonna damage your relationship, Claude? Because 9 times out of 10, this does not really work in real life.
I'm like, are you sure this was the right choice?
Yeah, it's like error message. Are you sure you want to irritate your brother and possibly shatter apart whatever remaining connection you have left? If pressing yes, you accept the consequences of your actions. There was still time to press no. But of course he's gonna press yes. He's Brigantian. What do you expect? Lance's...
I have read and agree.
Lance's face flushes a vivid, angry crimson.
Stop doing that.
Claude grunts as he throws his brother's sword off of him. He takes a step back, but does not respond.
Looking down at me, gloating. You wear that smug smile on your face now, but you're angry at me when I'm struggling. To make matters worse, you refuse to help me, but can still call me weak when I try to do things on my own. You are insufferable, walking contradiction, brother.
He's not wrong there. Before any of us could react, Lance is already charging at Claude again, sword raised. I move completely on instinct, holding up my hand to cast a spell just as Lance's sword cuts through the air. Lance's arms freeze in place moments before his blade connects with Claude's shoulder. His arms now encased in a thin sheen of ice are motionless. I stand from my spot with a frown. The match is over, Lance. The moment I release the spell, the blade falls from Lance's hands and lands with a thump on the ground.
Wait.
Without the sword, Lance suddenly looks craven. He takes a step back, his expression a mixture of guilt and sadness.
I apologize.
He is silent for some time after that. Both Garland and Claude stare at him, on edge. They only relax when Lance sides out and holds up his hands.
I concede. You win, Claude.
He turns on his heels and begins to walk away without another word. Claude and Garland both watch him go quietly, not saying anything until he is out of the area.
What was that?
That, my friend, was toxic masculinity in a nutshell.
Llama's true feelings. He has a habit of not showing them until he's angry. This has always been how I've gotten him to speak with me.
That's really unhealthy after a while, Claude.
Yeah.
Y'all need therapy. You and Llama especially need therapy. My gosh.
They all need therapy.
They all do, but them especially, honestly. Like, I felt the most awkward playing this route because of like how much they're like, you only expect each other to express like whether A, you're extremely sad, or B, when you just want to kill each other. Like,
except maybe Garland. Garland's cool.
They're extremes. Like, ugh. I mean, I already was like kind of tenuous about Claude before, but now I could easily say he's probably not one of the best routes. And the best route, unfortunately, makes him even worse. Not gonna lie. So it kind of makes me wonder how I'll look upon Fritz's route after I do this, because his was pretty difficult too. But I kind of can sympathize because in that case, he literally was not in control of his other side. Anyway.
Before, I was the same way. I held secrets close until I had them provoked out of me.
And you want to continue the cycle? Oh my gosh. Claude looks at his brothers disappearing back a little sadly.
I'd like to think I've changed since then. But Lance...
Dude, you haven't. The fact that you had to use this tactic to get him to express himself shows how much you actually haven't changed. Anyway, he shrugged his shoulders. Should we go after him?
Is that wise?
Probably not, considering that he almost killed his own brother.
Most likely not.
I agree. If anything, personally, I probably would have banned him from the kingdom after that.
Usually when Lance walks off like this, he needs time by himself to reflect.
And thankfully, the next one is going to be scolding Lance, because honestly, he does need to be brought the riot act, because what he did was really unacceptable. But also, Claude needs therapy too. Seriously. Y'all need therapy.
And what happens when you follow it?
Considering what happened right now, Gerlin, you can fill in the blanks.
He thinks I'm trying to antagonize him.
I'm starting to hate this conversation more and more, I'm not gonna lie. Then again, I'm not a fan of tension in general. But...
What, you antagonize people? Never.
Yeah, it's like... Personally, I'd be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not having this in my life. I'm done. Wedding's off. Go get therapy if you want to reconcile, but otherwise, bye! Don't need more drama in my life, already had enough with my mother. Yeah. Peace out. This is so much. I try to diffuse situations. It's too much. It's too much.
We're supposed to be repairing relationships right now.
Yeah, and this is like... This is chapter 5. This is happening. Chapter 5! What the heck?
Best ending. He never sees his brother again.
Even though, obviously, they will. They'll reconcile somehow. I don't know how Brigantians do it. This is way too much drama for me. I stare up after Lance's retreating figure with reluctance. I told Claude yesterday that sharing one's emotions was the first step to stowing one's problems. I just can't just leave Lance alone like this. Be that as it may, I'm still worried about him. Maybe he'll speak with me. Which is a better idea because Lucette's not personally involved. Obviously, karma wouldn't work because he's his brother. Of course, he's gonna feel like he's antagonizing, whereas potential sister-in-law, a little bit of immunity. I'll go after him. When you're ready to talk with him, he can come find us.
I'll help Garland pack everything and then follow.
He pauses to glance back at me once.
Oh, and darling, thank you for stepping in. Might have suffered a bruised shoulder had you not.
No, you would have been killed. Or at bare minimum, a shattered clavicle. It was not gonna be minor. I mean, the fact that, like, he went off like that, it just... Ugh, red flag. Huge red flag. I mean, the fact that he was... Looking back on it, the fact that he was so kind and jovial to everybody, and then he had this nervousness afterwards, just... I'm not gonna judge everybody who does this, but on the other hand, though, it's just... If you're that restrained about your feelings alone, especially when it gets to the hard parts... That's concerning! It's like, where's your outlet? Where's your outlet?
I mean, a practice sword to to the shoulder. I don't think that would have killed anyone, but it would have done damage.
Yeah, like, I mean, he definitely would have been injured from that. I mean, especially this is like, well, the equivalent of like fantastical medieval times, essentially, so like, potentially could have done some actual damage, let's be frank. It's not like modern day practice swords where there's actually some levity to it. That's just me, though, in theory. I don't really know sword fighting that well, so...
Yeah. I think practice swords just means they're not sharp.
Yeah.
So.
And if they're just not sharp, then it's just... Yeah, no, it's gonna do damage. I am sorry, peeps. I am trying to diffuse the tension. It's too tense in here right now. And I have to do the scolding in the next section, so it's even harder. Ugh. I hate doing tension. But I have to do it. This is rough. He and Garland begin to pack up, and I see that as my sign to chase after Lance. Alright, let's get this over with. Let's do this. Because he really does not know how to handle his matters. No, it was not. You ought to have said something to Claude before it came to this. Lance furrows his eyebrows at me. Yeah, feel free to get mad, but I've got magic that will freeze you in place, dude.
This has always been how Claude and I solve our problems.
If we're getting married, not anymore.
Yeah, solve is not the word I would use. Avoid?
Yeah.
Right, more like.
By driving each other into the pinnacle of a fight. Yeah, you should feel ashamed, Lance. I'm sorry, I'm just really mad at them right now. Oh my god. He deflates with a soundless sigh.
Not very sensible, is it?
Congratulations, your first piece of reason. I am hating this route more and more. I am just glad that this is over. No, not at all. It seems to me that it'd be a lot easier to tell someone how you feel before letting it get to that point. Otherwise, your public aggression mars other people's opinions of you. That's the other reason why you should not hold things in.
You're refreshingly honest, Princess.
Before I would have been charmed coming from you, but now I'm kind of like, I don't care, Lance. You and Brigante can burn to the ground for all I care.
There's our future queen. Let's burn Brigante to the ground. My first edict.
Yeah, so that way,
War.
yeah, problem solved. You don't have to rule anything more because, yeah, basically you literally have nothing to rule at this point. On the other hand, I like your mom.
Or solves everything.
Oh my goodness. Just be
I
quiet.
hope we plan on scolding Claude for this as well.
Oh man. He's gotta be grateful this is Lucette and not me, because that would have been a little cue for lightning. Leave Angelo and never come back, man. Scold him for what exactly?
For being ungentlemanly and petty.
That is true, but... Another day, my god. Petty... Anyway, I think it would be helpful to have a better way to vent your aggression. That goes for Claude, too. Finally. I mean, we've got one more decision, and this is gonna be over. Blissfully over. At this point, I don't really care about the best end anymore. I just want this to be over.
I've got the best ending. We never have to deal with this again.
Yep. Okay. And then, okay, yeah, he was going to show up afterwards, so that makes more sense. But here we go. What have you come here for? To scold me?
Yes, I was going to scold you as any older brother ought to, but it seems my lovely fiancée has already done so for me.
On the other hand, you both need therapy, because clearly you may have learned a lot of toxic things from Brigantia.
You were eavesdropping? Of course not. I just happen to have very good ears.
Fancy way of saying he was eavesdropping.
Since Lucette has already spoken with you, I came here not to talk, but to apologize.
I don't want to hear, I don't want to know, and I'm gonna move on to the next decision. I think I picked the correct one, though, for this one, so I think it was Beauty, because I remember like it was as Miss Karma that he gave this advice. Yeah, I did this right, but on that note, we have done with these decisions. I do not have to see their faces after this chapter, and with that, we're going to go to chapter 6, which is... I forgot the name, but I don't really care. Oh.
If the invitation is correct, then this should be the place.
Claude and I pause in front of the doors to the throne room. Claude is still holding the anonymous invitation that arrived at our door earlier. He pulls his gaze from the invitation up to the double doors. The sound behind the door is muted but not inaudible. We could hear the chattering sounds of a boisterous crowd even while we were still at the end of the hall.
Darling, what is this?
Probably a surprise party for your honor, but let's see. I wonder... Claude raises an eyebrow at me, tucks the envelope into one of his pockets, and starts forward. He pushes the doors to the throne room open without hesitation. Stepping into the throne room was like stepping into another, more richly decorated world. Elaborate tables filled with overwhelming displays of food and decorations stand beneath a dazzling array of sparkling chandeliers and vibrant lights. Oh. Claude stares at everything in wide-eyed awe. His being at loss for words make me smile.
For
What?
Brigantian, that's no small feat.
Yeah. What? Cat got your tongue?
What is all of this? It's nearly midnight.
The moment he says the words, the clock chimes 12. The sound, though muted, still chimes in the background beneath the layers of live orchestra music. Of course it is midnight. It wouldn't be a midnight ball otherwise. Though in my case, it's almost 11. Claude stares around him once again, his confusion giving way to a bright smile.
Midnight ball. Did Lance tell you about them?
Well, she also went through the Cinderella curse, and in that case, her spell was undone before midnight. But by the time midnight struck, so she didn't fully enjoy the ball. So it was her chance to actually go through with it. So anyway, it did. I have been working with him and Emmeline to create as accurate a portrayal as possible. Claude directs his attention to the center of the room, where various rose decorations have been put on display. Performers, some of them witches, surround the perimeter of the room and form for all in attendance.
Said.
Well, Chloe, she brought a piece of Brigantia to Rangiel, so that kind of works out. Anyway, he turns to me.
Love it, darling.
He leans forward to kiss me softly on the lips, but only briefly before turning away with a strange look on his face.
Was it Lom's suggestion to throw this celebration tonight?
It was, but why does it matter?
It's no wonder he put off leaving Angiel.
He frowns at someone in the crowd. I follow his gaze to Lance, who is dancing in the center of the ballroom with Emmeline. Both of them are too engaged with each other to even spare us a glance.
Leave it to Lance to ruin my plans in the best way possible.
What plans, Claude? I mean, did they get married already in this story? I forgot. I don't think they were.
I don't think so. They were definitely engaged.
Definitely engaged.
I think they were engaged.
Anyway. Your plans? Claude's frown disappears, and in a heartbeat the smile has returned to his face. He pulls me closer to him and kisses the top of my head.
It's nothing, darling. For now, we celebrate.
Celebrate what? You know what? I need to finish this thing. He leads me right into the middle of the crowd, and from then on, the atmosphere of the midnight party shifts. Even the nobles whom I do not usually speak with are more open in front of Claude, and the night becomes one filled with chatter and cheer. Everywhere we go, there are congratulations and handshakes. Before, greeting so many people would have been overwhelming, but Claude exudes so much confidence that it's impossible not to get wrapped up in the moment. Almost everyone from the March-In is here tonight, along with guests both esteemed and foreign. I speak with as many of my acquaintances as I can that night, and on one occasion, even chase after one of them when he makes no sign of having noticed me. I'm sad. Garland stops and rolls to face me, his face beat red. Did he do it? Did he do it? Is something wrong? Why is he so flushed? Or maybe tonight's the night, actually. I saw him patrolling the outside area earlier, but he was pacing back and forth and looked restless. He's preparing to do it tonight, that's pretty clear. I glanced down at his hands and noticed that one of them has closed into a fist.
No, nothing to report, Your Highness.
What is it that you're holding? It's so obvious what he's holding. Garland lets out a deep sigh before uncurling his fingers. I startle when I see a small palm-sized box in his hands. He quickly closes his fingers over the box again.
It's a ring. Jurian.
It takes me a few moments to understand. Once I do, I cannot help the smile that pulls at my lips.
I made certain we both got the same breaks tonight so that could, well, you know.
No, she's gonna say yes. Come on. If you proposed a jury in public, she would punch you, wouldn't she?
Absolutely. But even worse than that, I'd lose my words in the crowd.
Understandable. It still surprises me that Garland's confidence never wavers when he deals with his fellow knights, but anything related to Jurian makes him blush. I mean, also he's used to working low profile, so there's that.
Pretty girl will do that. I'm just gonna say.
Come on, Garland. I'm certain she'll accept.
I really hope so.
I hope so too. Of course it'll work. I mean, we've seen several endings already about this.
You and Prince Claude will be the first people to know the outcome, whatever the case.
Of course. It's a good thing you didn't tell Claude he was going to propose. It would have been much harder to get him to this ball if he insisted on spying on them.
And bringing it out into the open, I'm sure.
Yeah. Garland gives a polite bow before heading off, cheeks still flushed. I'm sure he'll be fine. Jurian would definitely accept.
Princess Lucette.
Oh boy, here we go. Lance suddenly stands before me with a mischievous smile on his face. Emmeline is standing beside him, laughing breathlessly. The coy smile takes me by surprise. Like older brother, like younger brother? What? What else do you have planned, Lance?
Princess?
It's just Lucette now. Let's take on my brother-in-law now. He ought to call me by my name without my title. When I told him that a few days ago, he apologized profusely and told me he was unaccustomed to calling me without my title.
Sorry, Lucette. But as for the plans, yes, I do have something in mind.
You chose this day for a reason, didn't you?
Of course.
Wait a minute. Is he going to... And that's why Karma was like, wait for him to go and upstage my plans. But let's see. He then briefly explains the rest of his plan to me, and I'm surprised by what he suggests, but not so overwhelmed that I back down.
I'll keep Claude occupied for the time being.
I hope I'm wrong. And I'm going with you, Lucette. I want to help you get dressed. That won't be necessary. You'll be done a lot faster with someone helping you, I promise. Emmeline takes my hand and drags me behind her out of the throne room. Dressed into what exactly?
Are they just gonna do a wedding like right here and now?
What? That is very Brigantian style, but on the other hand though, like... There! Done! Emmeline steps away from me with a smile. You look lovely, Lucette. She eyes the glass slippers on my feet. Knew it! I only wore them on rare occasions. It is strange to be wearing them now, but Emmeline insisted that they suited the dress Claude bought me for my birthday. I still don't see what I have to come back and change. Can I just come into the ball with this dress in the first place? I mean, after all, it's a Cinderella theme, really? It wouldn't have been like Cinderella if you showed up with the prince. Like Cinderella? You read the fairy tale enough times to know. You surprised Claude with the ball, but Lance wanted to help you surprise him some other way. But why? You'll see. She takes my hand and pulls me back to the throne room. I'm excited to see what this outfit is. $5, it's practically, or let's say, 100 coins. It has a little bit of a Disney nod to it. I know they're trying to avoid copyright and all that, but if it has that ballroom zhuzh, I'm counting it.
Like a big kind of poofy white dress.
Yeah.
You know.
Or blue. When we return to the throne room, I realize immediately that something is different. Though there are sounds behind the door, they are more subdued. The loud music from earlier is gone. I'll go in first. Wait a few minutes after me, okay?
Again, white dress is what you wear to a wedding, and when the bride walks in after the music has quieted. I'm just saying. Yeah, fair enough. Here we go. Lance said you probably know what the signal was. Wait, what is happening? Emmeline's only response to my question is a smile. See you on the other side, Lucette. Emmeline pushes the doors open and steps inside. For a few moments, I consider following her in spite of what she said, but then I feel a noticeable shift in atmosphere. This? And then suddenly I hear it. Oh! I recognize the song immediately. It is soft and quiet, barely audible, and perhaps not suited to a midnight ball at first listen, but... the song. Claude? I make my way into the throne room. And we're gonna interrupt his playing again. Here we go. I half expect to see Claude sing at the piano playing the song, but he's nowhere to be seen. The man at the piano was one of the court musicians. Never mind. How does he know the song? I suddenly become aware of the fact that the room is quiet, save for the song, and that everyone has turned to look at me. I feel mildly uncomfortable with so many people staring at me. But this is not 2 years ago when the people looked at me in fear. everyone here just looks awestruck, and the people I do know are smiling. I notice someone shifting through the crowd and turn to gaze at them as they emerge onto the middle of the ballroom floor, where the crowd has already parted. Claude is staring at me, awestruck. At that moment, I forget about everyone else there and smile only at him. Okay, I want to see this dress already. I want to see it. It was worth putting this on just to see that look on his face. Claude startles, then smiles back at me just as brightly. He holds out his hand and I begin to walk toward him.
This is that, Cinderella.
Cinderella? I have no idea who you're referring to. I slide into my hand into his with a grin. Well, I mean, it was more blue.
Blue with lilies.
With lilies! He settles on the other hand at the small of my back and pulls me closer.
You're right. It's wrong of me to compare you to Cinderella. After all, she couldn't hold a candle to you.
Damn right, because she is a sun. Oh? I thought you were fond of calling me Ice Princess, and now here you are using fire metaphors again.
I'm spontaneous, remember? I say whatever comes to mind.
He begins to dance first, and I follow in a step immediately beside him. We've danced together so many times that we do not even have to think about each other's movements. It isn't long before the area around us is crowded with other couples twirling and spinning beneath the same lights. Is this all spontaneous then? Did you learn this song from one of the musicians? Or did you teach them? Knew it.
I taught the song to them.
It was so obvious, come on. He's not the one that learns. Claude is one who teaches.
This night was supposed to go very differently before Lance meddled, you know. I was going to have someone play the song in your room, and I was going to dance with you on the balcony.
Okay, Lance interfered. Is it because of the ball itself? I don't get it.
After that, I would serenade you into the night.
He glances down at my dress and at my shoes.
Instead, it seems Lance somehow managed to orchestrate my plan out here. I told him about it before, and now it's turned out that he's used the information against me.
Yeah, Claude. So, rather than you surprising me, it was I who surprised you.
You think Llama's so nice, but then he goes and does things like this just to ruin my plans. Though I do have to admit that he made this a lot more spectacular than I anticipated. What do you think of the song?
It is a good one, I will say. He draws me closer to him after an underarm twirl. For a few moments, I remain pressed against his chest, smiling. I love it. Where did you learn it?
I composed it for you, darling.
Again, why am I not surprised?
And now, apparently the whole kingdom will know that.
All I'm gonna say is this. I hope Claude is not based on Henry VIII. I mean, come on. The rose imagery, the fact that, well, I mean, he had a more gentle, feminine nature, but sometimes he gets pretty harsh, and he composed his own song, which became a hit throughout the land. And,
I mean, as long as they have a son, then it'll all be fine.
well,
So.
we will never know that.
Is that like Schrodinger's cat then?
I mean, in this case, though, he is the older son, whereas Henry VIII was the younger one, but... Anyway, I catch Lance's eyes as we are twirling. He only winks as we spin away from him. That is fine. It is a beautiful song, and I hope more people start playing it.
Yes, and in your honor.
He pulls me close enough to plant a quick kiss on my lips.
You look radiant in that dress, Lucette.
Yeah, she does. Only because it is a beautiful dress chosen by a man who happens to be a dress connoisseur.
You flatter me, love.
He dips me and presses his forehead to mine.
It is my greatest pleasure in life to spoil you, you know?
Some days our responsibilities to the kingdom will have to come first. One day the king will ask me about a family, but for now... I wrap my arms around Claude's neck and kiss him. But for now, while I still can, I want to enjoy spoiling Claude and being spoiled by him. I love you, Claude.
Too, my darling Lucette.
The two of us continue to twirl under the chandeliers, two stars revolving around each other in a dazzlingly beautiful personal universe. And with that, we got the best end for Claude. And the ride lasted forevermore. And hopefully they both go to therapy. Yeah, gonna skip this.
Lasted forevermore. With therapy.
With therapy. Oh my goodness. That was a trial. Trial by fire. I mean, he pulled a lot of fire metaphors, so I pull mine. Not gonna lie, last bit was hard. So hard.
In order to get them to reconcile, you literally had to, like, smash them together.
And it didn't even feel like a proper reconciliation at that. It seemed in some ways that still they were kind of avoiding each other, even though, like, then again, I did skip forward, so there's that. But...
yeah. Maybe it would have made more sense in context, but
I was already fatigued. But, yeah. All I'm gonna say is, please make sure you have an outlet, a hobby, a friend, a therapist, a craft, journaling, anything. Please do not contain those things to yourself. It hurts
rage
you.
room? I don't know.
But yeah, please have an outlet for your feelings that does not hurt other people. Oh, what a trip. But we got through it.
We did indeed.
So, we've got... Whoops, I gotta correct that. Okay, there we go. So, next route we are going to do is Chevalier's route, which I'm actually looking forward to because dude is a healer. We need some healing after this roller coaster of an ending. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 decisions. My goodness. 6 out of 15. I knew we were going to do worse with Karma, but man, I didn't think it was going to be that bad. But I think the result was even worse. Anyway.
I forget exactly what happened, but... yeah.
Oh boy. But yeah, so, anyway, Chevalier next week. And then, Barony on Monday. That's what it was. More exploration, all that jazz. And then Wednesday or Thursday, more likely Friday, playing more Dundara Trials of Fear Edition. unfortunately, my save file got missing, so I basically have to start the whole thing again. So I may make that a chill stream, if anybody's interested. And then I may make like an official part 3 after that. So keep an eye out for that. As well as Oregon Trail and Stanley Parable at some point. Got a Fiverr shop in case you want to support me. And also feel free to support Priestmark get a second season. And if you're curious about whose indigenous land you're occupying, check out native-land.ca and type in your location and you will see the treaties and the lands that you are currently occupying. So yeah, use my social media in case you want to check out the rest of my stuff. At this point, I feel like crashing into bed because the day is trying to catch up with me. But yeah, stay safe out there. Remember to have a healthy outlet for your feelings. And of course, may your heart be your guiding key. Maybe add a side of therapy to that. But anyway, take care, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.